Isn't he Mexican?
Colombian.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
Anchor Baby.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor Baby.
Daddy's home.
That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby. You know, he's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell him we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You the blackest one in this room.
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border. And then a few hours before, just before it was time for him to pop out, she jumped across the border and let him fall on American soil. So he became the anchor baby. They don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby, right?
Hello, I'm the American Anchor Baby, and this is my show. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate that. On this fine Thursday. Appreciate it. How you doing, folks? Gonna get going here. Gonna be like a chill Thursday, really. I know there's wars popping off, but we're waiting to see what happens. Look, I'm not really waiting, to be honest. I'm just messing around. And kind of like I'll be messing around a little bit on my show a little bit today. Kind of just some things that I was thinking about. Prompted a little bit by a caller on my show, callers on the Hake Report, and a mention of Mike Tyson. You heard, maybe if you heard the Hake Report today, a mention of Mike Tyson and how he got railroaded. And there was a caller on my show about men being railroaded, Me Too and all that. Biden and Tara Reid. I don't really want to get into that, to be honest. I just wanted to show you a couple of things I was thinking about that. I'm not trying to get into rehash that call or anything. I enjoyed the call. That's fine. But I'm not looking to rehash all of that. You can catch my show from yesterday for that. But it serves as a little jumping off point here. So it'll be a little bit of a chill Thursday. Can we call it that? Shall we call it Lucy and Goosey? Call her whatever you like. You can also call into my show, 888-775-3773. You want to jump on the air. You want to talk about what you want to talk about. I see you, DJ 2020 over there on Rumble, supporting me there. Thank you. And Hake, rumble.com/American Anchor Baby. What's up, D-Live folks and Twitch? All right. I guess I just rehashed it, huh? But not really. I'm not trying to get back into all that. But if you remember, it's more of a reminder for those watching. This topic came up. It was that woman accusing Biden and all those things. And there was Mike Tyson got brought up on the Hake Report and how he got railroaded, and his conviction, he was Mike Tyson, Iron Mike, convicted. Found, convicted of rape. Anyways, this is not the Hake Report. He was convicted of rape, sentenced to 6 years in prison in 1992. Released on parole after 3 years. Is the story from back then, those who know, back in the 90s. Mike Tyson, a legend to many. And I was reminded of a certain clip. A legendary clip. I had to show it to you guys. I had to bring it out from the archives, from the annals of history. I don't know what you call it. Is that you say that word? Anyways, it's a legendary clip. Some of you might already even know the clip just from me talking about it. Tyson and the rape conviction. Some of you might know of a certain moment with a reporter. Legendary moment with a reporter where he, they get into it a little bit because of whatever the reporter decides to bring up. And not only that, it's a reporter in Canada. That's the funny thing, too. It's on CP24, daytime news. It's like daytime news in Toronto, specifically. Mike Tyson, some of you probably already know. Yeah, Kotz in the chat, and who I believe, I don't want to dox Kotz in the chat, but Kotz already naming the reporter. Name the reporter. I like Nick, but he doesn't name the reporter. I like Nick. He's pretty base, but he doesn't name the reporter. Nathan Downer, bro, bring that up on the news live, bro. Right on, Kotz. I got you, man. I definitely, like I said, chill show. This is really a clip from years ago. 2014, we're going back there. But I find it quite an interesting moment. I really want to show you. I want to go through the whole thing. It's fantastic if you haven't seen it. Tell me you haven't seen it. It looks like people in the chat have not seen it, so we got to show you guys. That reporter has guts. He could have gotten killed. C-Sal knows. Mike Tyson destroys reporter. And so he was in Canada back in 2014. He's an anchor baby from Canada. I used to watch CP24 every morning for the weather. CP24, and he was there to promote his one-man show in Canada. Mike Tyson, later on in his life, started doing a one-man, what I think people call it a Broadway show. I think that's what it was. I think that may be what it was, but it was a one-man show. And it was an introspective on him and other things, I believe. It's Mike Tyson out of the ring and in the hearts of America. I don't know. Anyways, I'm being random with my language. But he was there promoting this back in 2014 to promote his first leg of his show in Canada. And he was also showing mad love to the one and only Rob Ford. Rest in peace, Rob Ford, mayor of Toronto, mayor of Canada, mayor of Toronto, the city of Toronto, from 2010 to 2014. Rest in peace, Mayor Rob Ford, always in our hearts. He was battling a cancer, an abdominal cancer, towards the end of his life there. And that was after, I'm sure many of you know, the scandals of Rob Ford and the crack-smoking mayor and all this that happened. You know, I didn't know this back then. I didn't know that the Rob Ford mayor story was so big in America, you know. I didn't really think much about it. It wasn't until like 2016 that I saw my American passport in my cupboard, and I'm like, oh yeah, America. You know, it all coincided. It was really perfect timing. Jesse, Trump, passport. I mean, but that's a story for another time. Rob Ford. Rest in peace, Rob Ford. So Mike Tyson showing mad love to Rob Ford here. We gotta play the clip. It's an amazing clip. And I love Mike Tyson. Let's watch a little bit of this, huh?
All right, welcome back. Many of you probably know that Mike Tyson, the former heavyweight champion, is in town, and he met up with Mayor Rob Ford. Well, he joins us right now with his promoter, Alex. Thanks for joining us, both of you. I'll start with yourself. Many are wondering, how did that happen, this meeting with the mayor?
I have no idea.
It's my fault again.
No, at the end of the day, he is the mayor of the city. Mike Tyson is here to promote the first ever performance in Canada.
It's the first time probably in the history of Toronto where the mayor is bigger than the whole city.
So you're following so far. Fine question from Nathan Downer, as he's already been named. Nathan Downer, CP24 reporter here. Fine question. How does this happen? Rob Ford, 2014, post-scandal. Like, why are you here? So it's obviously the works of this promoter and all this. That's clear if you know anything. If you're, it's the work of his promoter. He's there to promote his show and all that. But his love for Rob Ford is not insincere. He's about to explain that right here. Just trying to give you guys the timeline, right? 2014. Rob Ford. Post-scandal, right? Rob Ford is still running. So if you don't know, it came out in some video that he smoked crack. But he decided he never stepped down from being mayor. And in fact, vowed to run again for re-election. So this is this timeline right here. So he's explaining how big Rob Ford is in the United States.
You know, he's the biggest celebrity than anybody in the city. Everybody wants to see the man. And he's a really dynamic character.
Right, so you read up on him, you sort of would follow
No,
him?
I didn't read up on him. I watched him on television.
Right.
You know what I mean? In the States. I mean, you know, he's a big hit in the States.
You know, I wanted to highlight that little part too, because you got to see the mentalities of the people here, the mentality of the interviewer slash the media company at large, right? The executives. And Mike Tyson and his promoter here, Mike Tyson answering honestly, you know, dude, what do you know about Mike? What do you know about Rob Ford? And did you look into him? He's like, no, I seen him on TV. I just like the guy. I like the guy. I think it was an honest statement here from Mike Tyson. And I'm trying to highlight the mentality here of the reporter, which will become clear here in a moment. I won't pause the delicious part here when they really get into it.
Now, some of your critics would say, you know, there's a race for mayor. We know you're a convicted rapist. This could hurt his campaign. How would you respond to that?
Hey, I don't know who said that. You're the only one I heard say that. You know what I mean? And I don't have no comment to that, you know, because it's negative and you're being negative. And I met the mayor, right, and nothing they can do about it.
We actually had a really good time. We talked about �🊒 who was a legend in your city, great man with whom Mike spent quite a bit of time yesterday talking about his life, highs and lows.
It's so interesting that you come across like a nice guy, but you're really a piece of shit.
Hey,
that comment. Come on. No, that was a piece of fuck you. That was a piece of shit.
You know, we're doing live TV now.
Come on, Rob. We're doing. Hey.
Yeah, what are you gonna do about it?
All right, you got a show that you're doing tonight. We are. You know, a lot of people are
where it comes raw and it's the real truth.
Yeah, a lot of people are going to be there to see your show. Just tell us a bit about it.
You know, it speaks for itself.
You gotta love the promoter here smiling. I don't think he's thinking this is a bad thing. This must have been amazing publicity for the one-man show, if you ask me.
One saw the show.
All right, it's a Broadway production. It went to Vegas. It went to actually 28 cities in the United States. And we're really, really proud to bring it here. And we're actually going to Monaco on October 9th. We're going to be in Monte Carlo.
Right. Is it nerve-wracking for you to do something like this, or is it more nervous for you to box? How does it compare?
I don't know. It's more nerve-wracking for me to hear us talking to a rat piece of shit like you.
Come on, Mike.
No, because you're a piece of shit.
All right. We're gonna wrap up this interview. Thank you for coming.
You're gonna have to wrap it up. Yeah, you better wrap it up. You gotta love it. Iron Mike Tyson, you know, I met him with Jesse at his ranch here in California, and it was an amazing interview. It was too bad they never put it out. But it was such a great interview, and it really wasn't like out there or spicy. It's like, it was just honest and straight up. It was great. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. But Tyson, you know, you gotta love it. He's straight up here. It's nerve-wracking to talk to a rat. Rob Ford is the best mayor in Toronto's history, says Mike. So this just kind of highlighting more of his comments on Rob Ford and why he was so into him. You know, this was during this scandal stuff, and this crack video that came out, Rob Ford smoking crack cocaine. You know, in some comments here, you see Tyson's not totally ignorant of that either. In other interviews, he says he's a human being about Rob Ford. We have no idea what you do behind closed doors, what your habits are, Tyson told reporters outside Toronto City Hall to understand more of where Tyson was coming from. So he really didn't know about the politics or care. There was also the business aspect. But you see the mentality of the media and the reporter there. They had their agenda and what they had to do. It's business, so nothing personal. Maybe he took it a little personal, Tyson. As you can see, Tyson just likes the man. He didn't even know him like a mayor. The media had their politics to do. And this reporter, when unearthing this from the history from back then, Toronto CP24 reporter Nathan Down, he tweeted later about this saying, "I'm okay, everybody," which is such a ridiculous thing to tweet. Like, yeah, he's Iron Mike, but you know, mess with him like on a plane, like in that video, he might, you're asking for a strike, but There was no reason to punch you. Although some might say you might deserve it, Nathan Down. I wouldn't say such a thing. Nathan Down here saying, I'm okay, everybody. Whatever. I'm all mad about a tweet years ago. Unfortunately, my questions hurt Mike Tyson's feelings, he writes. That was not my intention. My apologies for the language. No ill will towards Mike Tyson. He lashed out at me, and that's okay. Not taking it personally. Right on, Nathan Down. Now, what gets me is that he's kind of right. Like, this is the nature of the game and the media here, and they're running their politics. But it shows how evil the media is. That goes without saying. Nothing about substance, right? Just gotcha. Throwing men under the bus. Very, very happy to do that. And easily for politics, for political points, for whatever. And fine, this is also proof that you can't anger. You got to be cool in all situations. And you won't be if you have anger, straight up. You can't. You can even be Iron Mike after fight and jail and everything. You can have anger. But that's so womanly of Nathan. I just had to point that out. Oh, it's not my intentions. I guess I hurt his feelings. How do I put this? It's like, the thing is, it's so easy to be like solid in your emotions when you offend someone else. And I know it's not you offending someone else. That person has something in them already. But when you are the person who's getting life, like a woman who like offends you, and you're wrong for getting offended, but she gets life out of it. You cannot get a woman off her high horse when she's in that state, or anyone who's angry in that state. They are like you. They're unbreakable. They're solid. They got all the life they wanted. So I'm sorry. My feelings were hurt. I don't know why his feelings were hurt. Well, you were kind of bringing up a really nasty thing, man. Because what the reporter did, what he did in a man code, if we will, I don't know. You guys follow me here. Look, it is a piece of ish move. Though the machinations of what were behind it all were probably beyond Nathan Down himself, the individual. That's why Mike Tyson, can't be getting offended. He was being negative. You're the only one I hear saying that. And that's negative. That's negative. And you know what, Mike Tyson, that is negative. And he is the only one saying that. You're there doing your show, and Rob Ford, no one's talking about this rape conviction. Nathan Down, so happy to throw men under the bus. He was wrong for getting offended. But I'm just trying to point this out, this evil world. Because that's obvious that he should get offended. But he did do a piece of ish move. That is a piece of ish move. That's not a man. That's not how you should treat another man, in my opinion. Why didn't Nathan say to his producer, no, he has the choice not to sneak that rat question, you rat piece of... Yeah, true. If you get offended by someone, you owe that person an apology. Interesting statement. But Nathan Down's being negative. You're being negative. Not my intentions to hurt his feelings. And it was quite nasty and personal. Gotta hit those ratings. It's just not becoming of men, in my opinion. Rob Ford, how was he as a mayor? Talking about Rob Ford a little bit here. Who was the man? I didn't think too much about him. And as the years went by, getting more into politics, I came to know more about him. And I think now, I feel like I'm pretty solid about what I see here with Rob Ford and what happened. No, what happened was a man had problems, obviously. That goes without saying. He was smoking crack. And about his mayoralty of Toronto, his time as a city councilor and all that. Who was Rob Ford? Was he a good politician? Something I noticed that over the years, when describing Rob Ford, there's something that I see repeated a lot. He did a fine job as a ward healer, they say. Oh, he did a job. He was great at retail politics. These words they use, and I do a little digging. What these words, these political words, what they're saying, these people are saying is he was great at filling up a pothole. There's even quotes of articles of people saying this. You could call up Rob Ford and he'd fill up a pothole the next day. He was great at retail politics, ward healing, and just like little things. But, you know, as a mayor and just when you got to scale, it was just too much. As a city, it's horrible. And I'm thinking about something. You're telling me you call up Rob Ford and the next day a pothole was filled? The guy loved. Then he loved the city. You know how hard that is to do? The people, we're talking about taxes and all the people, what the city does and all the money you got to pay. And one of the this is almost a cliche at this point. All this money I paid, look at this pothole. But the cliche is true. LA's a mess, for example. And what do you pay? What are you paying all this money for? You're telling me you could call Rob Ford up and he'd fill it up the next day? That sounds like a person. That sounds like someone doing his job. I want that for all of our politicians. Bro, that sounds like an amazing mayor. It sounds like the only mayor in the world doing his job. It's just something I noticed about when talking about Rob Ford. As a mayor, he was probably, and you know, as a mayor, in my opinion, he's probably no worse than the next guy, you know? In a city enjoying huge booms and upward swings. Real estate at the time. Just kind of a messing around, chill Thursday show, what I'm thinking of. But I do have a point if you follow me here as I don't know. There's an important thing here, what I realized about Rob Ford and why the media went after him, why they called him like a sort of Trump. And you look at him, he's like, well, what kind of Trump is he? This guy's, some call him disgusting, and he was doing all sorts of things. But I think he loved Canada. They try to call him racist. Okay, they were trying to say also he won in this 2010. He won this mayor race as an independent against this guy, a liberal, Smitherman, George Smitherman, who ran as a liberal, part of the Liberal Party of Canada. Rob Ford was an independent, and hold on. And he won in its landslide. It had its own local Toronto city shock value to it. They called him racist. In fact, stuff started coming out. Oh, he's a racist. He's this and that. So you see, people were making connections to Trump here. But I realized it's almost obvious, but the connection here and why Rob Ford is why he's almost worth talking about right now, in my opinion, in this chill show. Besides the railroaded men and stuff going on here, we'll get to that. There was all these articles coming out. For example, how do I put what I'm trying to say here? Look at this article. Non-white voters are not immune to the appeal of right-wing populism, written by The Intercept, about Rob Ford. In this article, Murtaza Hussain is trying to wrestle with the fact that all these immigrants and non-white people supported Rob Ford. And he's trying to make sense of it all. Why are they so into right-wing populism? And so that if you don't know a little bit of the story of Rob Ford, you know, he was a video came out where he was found smoking crack, basically. And the police got their hands on it. Drug dealers were trying to sell it. And it all came out in this scandal. And he made some of the most amazing comments during the time, which is why I guess he became so famous. Just speaking so frankly about the crack stuff. He shocked reporters at City Hall by offhandedly admitting his crack use. Yes, I've smoked crack cocaine, Ford says, but no, do I? Am I an addict? No. Have I tried it? Probably. In one of my drunken stupors. He became famous for saying that, drunken stupors. I wish I could say say I just did that in a drunken stupor, man. Don't judge me. Approximately a year ago, he says. other very real moments. Just real. Just the guy was real.
While the
too
morning
real.
was still young, Rob Ford raged against those who talked to police about drugs and booze and mayoral misogyny. Fury fueled vulgarity from the city's chief magistrate, who really ought to know better.
Oh, and the last thing was Olivia Gondak. It says that I wanted to eat her Olivia Gondak. I've never said that in my life to her. I would never do that. I'm happily married. I've got more than enough to eat at home. Thank you very much.
Where do you begin with that? Counselors could only...
Look at this short-haired, look at this short... He's saying people, they're talking about getting offended and stuff, right? This offends me. This short-haired woman in high politics in Canada, this is offensive, okay? The Rob Ford talking about some comments, I think he was basically trying to defend himself. There's something came out where communications between him and someone else may indicate that he may have wanted to, imbibe in her feminine stuff. Hey, say no, that's ridiculous. I'm married. I got enough to eat at home. This is more offensive, okay? This short-haired woman.
Only scold.
I have never heard such disgraceful language and statements made in the public realm by an elected official ever.
Ever. Never, ever, ever, ever have I heard such things. Never ever heard such realness. I think that's why people liked him. I remember seeing him after this scandal stuff came out. And I think he promised to run for re-election, but I think that, if I remember, he decided to go. He went back on that and said, actually, nah, I'm not going to do that. Went into obscurity, but then returned. The first time Rob Ford, I believe, showed his face again after that was at the Toronto Rib Fest. I'm like, right on, Rob Ford. I knew then he was a real Enga. He was loved by the minorities. He says he was, I'm thinking of his comment he said about him being the biggest racist ever. Because they were calling him a racist, he didn't care. But I think that was also in a drunken stupor, so it's making me laugh a little bit. The thing is, I think he loved Canada. Sincerely, I think he sincerely loved Canada. And you see, over the years, as all this has already happened and Trump came around and all this, articles like this made me realize just why Rob Ford was such a bigger thing than I thought he should have been. He was just this mayor of Toronto. He's a scandal. Because, look, Rob Ford, colorful and populist Toronto mayor whose career was derailed by drinking obscenities. They saw him as a populist. They saw him as a right-wing, blah, blah, blah. But they saw him as a person who loved Canada, who wanted he stopped the gravy train as he promised when he won his election in a landslide, right? Things that, maybe you do see the Trump parallel now. That's what people wanted about Trump. In simple terms, they saw a man who they trusted, and they're like, this guy wants to really stop the gravy train. He's the only one really saying it how it is, and I like him for that. And I think that's why Rob Ford was a bigger thing than he had to be. Because, he got railroaded by the media. I say railroaded lightly because he did do crack and it was on video. I do love how much that whole situation really shine a light on the judgment of people and what it means to be evil, and how easy it is to judge Rob Ford and not judge yourself and all that. I just thought that whole thing with Mike Tyson, it rings true. It has a truth to it. But you see what I'm saying about the populism thing here? I have enough to eat at home with a G. You see what I mean about the populism here? Anyone, any person, any man, especially if they're a man, a white man of a Western European nation, who wants to stop the gravy train, even if he's a drunk, crack smoking, even if he's a crack smoker, it would be easier anyways. Even if he's a drunk, a crack smoker, whatever. If he's especially if he's effective and real, and he gets to the people somehow, speaks to them somehow. I know it may leave some of the in the journalist establishment class incredulous that a man like this could speak to people after years of government that, like that short hair woman. Maybe you're just out of touch, but people may not understand why they like him. But you can even be this crack person or whatever, but halfway populist and you're a celebrity in America. I don't know. I don't think that's a coincidence, sincerely. But yes, Rob Ford, rest in peace. A little 40-minute love letter to Rob Ford, maybe. I'm just telling guys, it's Thursday. We got a nice flight tomorrow. Don't miss it. Hit that. I was supposed to say at the beginning of the show, for those who are already tuned away, we got a nice flight tomorrow. Don't miss it. Hit the notification bell. That way you don't miss the flight. Railroaded. They say they've been railroaded, these men. I have to show you this little Trump Tyson clip now. Speaking of railroaded men and maybe even tying up this whole thing in a little bow. Tyson was convicted for this rape offense. And I want to show you Trump in this 1992 clip, NBC clip or whatever. They put music over it, but it's pretty good. Trump defending Tyson, his thoughts on the 1992 case there. This whole Trump clip, it also resurfaced during Trump to try and make him look bad too, if you remember. I remember. This is the member show. Okay, look, let's watch Trump defending Tyson. Oh, Lord, hold on. Boom.
Mike Tyson was greeted at his door at 1 o'clock in the morning by a woman. He then...
Well, we don't need to go through the case again.
It's ridiculous. The woman was dancing at 8 o'clock, and this guy's in jail for 6 years. I don't understand it. I think it's wrong. I think...
Yeah, but the process of law prevailed. So then you came
one of the worst defense lawyers I've ever seen. This was the worst...
I'm sorry, you barely could hear them over this music, whoever made this. I know you put the classic TikTok song, you made it all dramatic. It's cool. Lower it just a little bit. You might have missed the host there. Who's that guy? I just had his name. The guy Trump is talking to saying, yeah, but are you, I mean, he was convicted though. Like, that, are you going to go against the conviction though? I mean, whatever you think about this woman coming up at 1 a.m. Let's continue here.
And their defense essentially was that anybody that goes out with Mike Tyson knows she's going to be raped.
Trump just said, if you couldn't hear, their defense, he's talking about the defense, Mike Tyson's jury, my apologies there, just scrubbing the video. I'm sorry, the music, you can barely hear it. He's talking about what in his opinion was a horrible defense team that Mike Tyson had. And that their defense was essentially that anybody that goes out with Mike Tyson should just expect and should know that you could possibly be raped. Which is I mean, when you put it like that, Trump, and I don't see him to be a liar, sounds like a pretty horrible defense.
Mike Tyson knows she's going to be raped, and therefore Mike Tyson, this is his defense. I think it was a horrible job.
Well, everything you say may be true, but still in all, you can't come in and say, okay, let's put the decision of the court aside.
You can't come in and put the decision of the court aside. I'm repeating some of this for you because of the music. But this is men, by the way, folks. This is how other men think. This is why this is important too. Other men, I don't know. It's just feeling bad for women. I don't know what it is. I bet you it's feeling bad. Like, well, you know, women get raped, man. Don't you know that happens? It's like, I'm sure nobody wants that. But this guy said, you just can't put aside the decision here. Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
I never said that.
I think that was the impression people had of it.
What I said really is that Mike Tyson should fight. Mike Tyson should supply millions and millions and millions of dollars to rape victims. And I think that's a hell of a lot better than him sitting in a jailhouse for 6 years.
Anyways, a little video from back then. Free man talking, speaking his mind. Letterman, that's who it was, obviously. David Letterman. Right. Letterman. 1992. Beta Letterman. Mike Tyson had his day in court. Oh, that's an interesting statement, Carver. Yeah, Mike Tyson had his day in court. Would you say knowing some of these details, hearing Trump there. I know we don't know all the details, so this is not that important that we make a decision here. But knowing what we saw and seen here, just because Mike Tyson had a day in court doesn't mean it was fair. I think it could be said that his day in court was quite unjust. Beta man. Railroaded men. I'd say Rob Ford was railroaded a little bit by the media prior to the tape. David Fetterman. You guys have the jokes. Amazing. I appreciate the super chats there. Thank you. You can call in as well. 888-775-3773. You want to jump on the air? And you could also buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/anchorbaby. Appreciate the coffee lamps who writes Worst Case Ontario or Survival of the Fitness. I can't decide. Very funny lamps. A little Trailer Park Boys reference. Worst Case Ontario. Trump wins. Trump wins. What's going to happen with this Supreme Court here? Worst Case Ontario. They keep him off the ballots. We vote for him anyways. We have a Trump revolution, 2024. Dictator for as long as he needs to be. And then we're laughing. Commenting on that interview that Mike Tyson had with Jessie. And I got to meet Mike Tyson there. I'm reminded of a quote. I can't confirm if this is real, but Mike Tyson is quoted as early as 2021. I can't see it earlier. By AZ Quotes, by ironmike.co.uk, I can't seem to find the context and prove the quote here, but Mike Tyson quoted as saying, "Anger is my biggest enemy in life." So we'll just leave it at that, huh? Mike Tyson, the legend, Iron Mike, smoking mad pot at the ranch. Let's see if I can even pull up those pictures. Where are those pictures with Mike Tyson at the ranch and Jesse looking stoned? Because he has his show called Hot Boxing, and I took a picture of Jesse right under the sign. And Mike Tyson smoking hella pot, offering Jesse joints, knocking back like chocolate square after square of shrooms, of mushrooms, psychedelic mushrooms. He had this like shroom guy off the camera, and he did multiple interviews here after Jesse as well. I was there. I was able to see him interview Kevin Gates, a rapper, and he was just by the end of halfway through Kevin Gates, he was. I'm just trying to log into my pictures here, see if I can show you. He was gone. He was, to be fair, handling it amazingly well. Able to string coherent sentences together during an interview there. But he was just hand to mouth with this chocolate shrooms. Mike Tyson there. They were all like packaged in this like packaging. I'm looking around. I'm like, I thought this was illegal. This looks like a legal product. I thought this was a class 1, 2 scheduled drug or whatever, or something like that. But whatever, right? What the heck do I know? And that only happened in Minecraft. That never happened at the Tyson Ranch. I'm cool. That only happened in video games. I'm cool, Tyson. I'm cool, Mike. I can still hang. Because that only happened in video games. No illegal things happen at the Tyson Ranch. That's truly a joke. I'm just messing around as I'm looking for the photos. I might as well hot boxing with Mike. I mean, I'm like so far deep in. I gotta show you now. It was great. It was meeting a legend. Early on and working with Jesse. And it's proof that we met him, okay, because they never put out the interview. Iron Mike, and I see your calls coming in. Thank you so much. 888-775-3773. We will get to you. Lord. This is more difficult than I thought. I see your calls coming in. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let me just log into that as well. Oh, they're just rolling in now. That's 888-775-3773. Why don't I take Justin out of Fullerton while I look for this? Justin, you're on the air.
Nick, thanks for taking my call.
What's up, Justin? How you been?
All right. I was just listening about this, man, Mike Tyson, who did face his accuser. And I would think that every man has to have a day in court if there's an accusation, but it seems as if there's no statute of limitation. And so anyone can bring up a case, days after something occurred, but if they don't, years later, they still have that case. And I think that should be the first question that a victim is asked, why they were not, forthcoming with the information that they had at the time, and why they didn't present a case or allow the person to face, at the time. Now they're looking back and
sure, yeah, at the time, and it brings into question a lot of things. You're saying it should happen, though. They should have a day in court, even without evidence?
Criminally in the court, yeah, I think there's a statute of limitation. I don't think civilly there's not.
But do you think any man should have this day in court, or anyone should have their day in court, just even without evidence?
If an accusation is brought up and the person has no evidence, let the evidence, let the record show that there's no evidence presented.
But that's what happened with Jean Carroll.
So that's a civil case. Maybe that's why criminally they didn't get prosecution to pursue that. They went after civil because rape is a term of someone that uses force and aggression. And so they equate that to a dollar sign. They don't say we can prosecute the person and put him in jail or her in jail. They say, but a certain amount of money is allocated for you to have because you say that something violent happened and you didn't make a claim right away. That's how I perceive.
That's crazy, though. That sounds evil, though. Because it should be just, if there's a crime here, then you go to jail. You take the reasonable penalty for that crime, not halfway stuff because you can't prove something or you can't really go hard on rape because you couldn't really prove it. So we'll just charge you money. Also, that doesn't even make sense.
If it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense, right? Like literally $1 back 30 years ago was worth a lot less. So pay the person at the time that the injury occurred at that rate. Same for reparations. It seems like this is some type of form of reparations for something historically that occurred to someone that was unjust, that's still alive. So if it's able to be proven without a shadow of a doubt, then that other side wins. If not,
interesting. But if they were honest people, then they wouldn't do this reparation stuff. They would just correct the justice if they really, correct it. They would correct history if they really meant it and put him in jail, or you know what I'm saying here, like. But they don't mean that because they know it's a false case here. Yet they were able to, $5 million. They were another $83 million in defamation, and they were able to also get a jury to say that he sexually assaulted Jean Carroll on what grounds? And so, that doesn't even make sense.
The claims that people present don't have to, I guess, be substantiated. Is what I'm perceiving the law.
Clearly,
to be, unless. Yeah, they're making a precedent out of it. So it's only going to welcome more and more people who may be questioning if something happened, and it'll be like, well, something did happen, and this is what it was, and this is how it happened. And sorry I didn't say it right away, but I need $100 million. So what's the limit? Like there's the bar. If $83 million is set, what's the bar for somebody who doesn't have that much money?
There is no limit to a woman's pain.
Right. Okay.
It has to be but that's actually not, that's hyperbole, but it's not that far from the truth.
Right.
The mentality of the courts and all that.
Well, there's also a very famous quote with Shakespeare that says, hell has no fury like a woman scorned. So if there was any type of impropriety or anything that's, wrongdoing, it could be inflated. It can be, made into something it wasn't, convoluted, misunderstood. And so again, Mike Tyson at least had his day in court, and a lot of other people did. O.J. Simpson, a lot of famous people. That's the system we have. But criminally, they go to jail, and if they can't, I think they pursue it monetarily, and that just seems out of pocket, out of place.
What do you out of pocket? What?
Literally.
Do you have an opinion on them? Are you trying? I'm a little unsure if you're not asking you to have one. If you don't have one, stay like that. But I'm unsure if you have an opinion here on the Mike Tyson case from back then. Are you or are you saying anything about that at all?
Well, I'm saying
on your thoughts on the jury and the conviction itself.
Yeah, I can't talk and say I'm knowing more than I know, but I know that he didn't win his case, and there was evidence against him enough that proved without a shadow of a doubt that he could, did that. So he was convicted. I just don't see the difference between somebody that's really rich. Why are they not? If they can't pursue it criminally, there is no evidence, and you can't bring up that claim. So I don't know why money has to be, because he was rich too. But there must have been enough evidence criminally to.
Oh wait, and this is what gets me right here. There must have been enough. How do you know that? How do you know? Do you know what the evidence was in the Mike Tyson case?
No, I just support the law of the land. If there's like a decision,
because in the Jean Carroll thing, there was sufficient evidence to say that that there was a sexual assault, that Trump was liable for the sexual assault against Jean Carroll. But when you look into the evidence is just her claim, verbal claim. Another woman who, in a separate situation, not having anything to do with Jean Carroll, but she just said that she too was abused by Donald Trump. And then they used the Hollywood Access tapes that when he was saying you could grab them by the whatever, and they used those that was their evidence in the Jean Carroll case. And yet there was sufficient evidence there to say that Trump sexually assaulted Jean Carroll.
No, I'm just saying.
I understand what you're saying, that the law happened and there was sufficient evidence for them. But what gets me is I want to like rip off that shroud that people have. It's like the law is up there and I'm down here. I'm just a citizen. But you can have an opinion, and and just because something says just because you read sufficient evidence, well, look into it and have your own opinion. You're the expert. You're the master of your life. You're the expert. You make the final decision.
Yeah,
and
so
when you look into the evidence of Jean Carroll, I mean, I don't think we could just say that about Mike Tyson.
I maybe after a later time I'll have more of an opinion when I look into the case more. I think it's evident by the time duration and then the dollar inflation to get a case civilly instead of criminally, and there was that angle instead of the prosecutors going that route. So it seems as if evidently that's what they wanted to work off of, where they could win a case, which they did. Not criminally, like Mike Tyson and other people went to jail.
Hey, come back to your phone.
Sorry. My phone, yeah.
No problem.
So coming back to my conclusion, I think that Trump did not face jail time, so he is innocent, and they only went after his money, and Mike Tyson was found guilty, and they went after him criminally because he still had a lot of money, and they didn't go after that. Unless today is just a different type of laws, different rules, because I don't know.
It's a little unclear for me. Are you saying that for you, the metric you're using on someone's guilt here is that Trump, well, it's clear that the case had no real teeth. So they're trying to stretch and finagle this case into somehow a sexual assault and then somehow to grab his money. But because they didn't go after him criminally and really honestly try and put him in jail for a rape, that he's probably innocent. But Mike Tyson, on the other hand, because they
probably
did,
guilty.
You said probably guilty. And you don't know the evidence they used.
No.
You have no idea of the evidence.
Now, if we're talking about O.J. Simpson, I know more.
Oh, well, you
about
said probably. You said probably guilty, so I guess that leaves space.
Yeah, you can't have any
fair.
doubt. So
I mean, I see where you're coming from, but I would say to your probably guilt, as much space as you're leaving there by saying probably, I think you're probably. I don't know.
Other cases like I said, this sets a precedent, so other cases can follow suit. And so prior to this was O.J. Simpson, and he was also found innocent criminally, and he was able to civilly be sued until later he went and robbed somebody in Las Vegas, and then he went criminally in jail. So I believe that the law is set.
And you don't trust that one. You don't trust the conviction on that one.
The conviction.
You don't trust the exoneration on that one.
Yeah, like O.J. Simpson, he killed his wife.
You're
Mike
saying,
Tyson,
but they exonerated
he raped his
him.
girlfriend.
If I use your metric that you used with Tyson, OJ's innocent. But it sounds like you don't necessarily believe that a conviction or an exoneration necessarily means it's true.
The same thing that happened to O.J. Simpson happened to Trump.
No, but wait, hold on. It sounds like you were just saying that you think OJ killed his wife or whatever.
There was enough.
And so it sounds like you said there was enough evidence to what?
To convict him, but the law stated that there wasn't enough evidence that without a shadow of a doubt, and so they had to.
But you personally, Justin, don't trust that exoneration.
No.
So it sounds like to you, Justin, an exoneration or a conviction doesn't necessarily mean that it's true.
But it was rightful. It wasn't. It was not my.
Wait. Does it necessarily mean it's true to you, Justin?
That's my opinion. But the fact of the matter is that he is legally
right. But I'm talking. But I'm asking you about your opinion. You're right.
Crimes.
I understand.
So if I say he didn't have enough evidence, that's me saying.
Right. I'm following you, but I'm asking you about your opinion. And so, in your opinion, we are talking about your opinion. So we're not on the wrong page here. So in your opinion,
sometimes the evidence may be a lot. Or like in O.J. Simpson's case, and he's still found innocent, doesn't serve any jail time, and Donald J. Trump, another case, has very little evidence against him, and he, obviously wins that and doesn't face.
Wait, hold on. I'm just trying to understand one thing. In your opinion, when I'm understanding that you don't trust the exoneration of O.J. Simpson. So it sounds to me like to Justin, to you, it sounds like not every conviction and an exoneration is necessarily true just because it happened in a court.
Yes.
Okay, there. I was just trying to understand that. Okay, I understand you, Justin. So you understand the people who may not entirely trust the conviction on Mike Tyson. Just because it happened in a court doesn't make it real.
That's why it's not supposed to be in the media until the case is settled. But the media gets all into it right away. So that's what flares things up and makes things not accurate also.
Oh.
In Europe, they don't do that. They wait till the media is not allowed to be as much into the court. But in America, we're maybe too much into it.
Oh, yeah, that is strange. I've always wondered about that. And they televise some, and
Johnny Depp was televised.
Televised, yep. George Floyd. Well, that wasn't a trial; it was a funeral. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, they televise these things, and I wonder why do they pick some, not others. Some of the Trump court stuff is not televised. You know.
True.
You would think you'd want that, get all the views and all that.
Well, I'll just say, whoever's listening, Trump 2024.
Right on, Justin. Appreciate your call, man. Call me again.
All right, have a good one.
Nice. All right. 888-775-3773. Yep. Just talking shop here. It's a loosey-goosey one, folks. And I do have more calls. Thank you. 888-775-3773. Let me get to a caller here. JLP will be live on the War Room with Owen Schroyer today, 3 p.m. Pacific time. Don't miss it. That's 5 p.m. Central Time, 6 Eastern Time. Band.video, go to, or InfoWars on Rumble. You'll see Jesse today, 3 p.m. Pacific time. It's always nice with Owen Schroyer, so you don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it. What else about this? What else? Hey, Super Dave, thank you for the diamond. Saying, I'm enjoying the Toronto talk. Shout out to RPOS Nathan. You rat piece of Salisbury cheese. You rat piece of the RPOS Nathan Downer. Thank you, Super Dave, with a diamond over there on D Live. Appreciate that. What the heck? Is that a picture of me and Twitch, or is that what is that? The Hake Report putting some emojis. Is that an emoji of me? No, it's not. I thought that was an emoji of me in Twitch. Twitch.tv/𝒔𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔. All right. Let's go to Matus. I got Matus out of Los Angeles, California. Thank you for your call.
What's up, Anchor Baby? How you doing, sir?
All is well, Matus. Appreciate your call.
I just want to get back to the Trump thing and just from a perspective of, my dad moved to America in 1972. He worked 44 years on a farm, not one day off. Now he's retired and he watches TV and he watches a lot of CNN.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me the other day when that woman was on there talking about all the people that voted for Trump are racist. My dad said, "Yep."
No way.
And he says, Joe, and he mumbled, "Joe Biden's the greatest president of all time." And I said, "Why? What has he done?" He said, "He got Trump out of office. It doesn't matter what he does. He got Trump out of office." And I start to notice, wow. I don't want to get all emotional. I want to become a beta right now, but it kind of hurts because my dad used to be a good man. And I'm not saying he's not. It just, you watch too much of that CNN. Like, he believes all that Hunter Biden stuff and all that stuff is Trump spending money to make Biden looking bad. And I'm just like, where are you getting all this information from? I don't need to tell you where I get if they need to make laws up to put Trump in office, they need to. He needs to be in jail. And I said, what proof? Oh, he raped that woman. I said, that woman is ugly. Have you seen his ex-wives? They're all hot. He wouldn't he raped her. Yeah, I know he did. He can't keep his hands to himself.
He'll say, I know he raped her. He says that.
Yeah, because that's what CNN says. And I'm just like, first of all, the evidence that they used, that was in the privacy of an RV. And you know what? I'm barely rich. I barely have any money, and I've had women throw themselves at me. I could only imagine what a billionaire.
Tell them you're a forklift. You show them the forklift operator license, and they just throw themselves at you, man.
Come on. People are not. What
you show them the trucker license, and they just want to give you everything. No, I'm joking.
My sister grew up in Hollywood. I don't need to drop name, but I've seen what people do to movie stars. I can only imagine what they do to billionaires. Please.
This is a good
man.
Go on.
No, he put America first. First president not to be in a war. First president to actually. Nobody has a clean slate. Nobody. That's why we're human. That's what makes us human. But forgiveness and people that put America first. Really? Yeah, and you want to count MAGA? Ronald Reagan ran on the MAGA thing. Nobody talks about that. Bill Clinton said MAGA. Nobody talks about that. Donald Trump says MAGA. Oh, he's a racist.
They've been saying America first since 1913. I learned.
Come on.
Wilson and they've been saying America first for a long time. But now this is racist.
Por favor, man. I love you guys.
Matus,
I love the show. I love you guys.
Can I ask you something real quick?
Go ahead.
You said your father used to be a good man. What makes you say that?
Because he provided for us. He did what he did what he knew better. After what Jesse has taught me and what I've learned, you guys know a little bit about me, what I've learned about God, my dad did the best that he could.
Nice.
All my father's ever known is how to work. He barely speaks English. He speaks Portuguese and Spanish, but he never missed a day of work. He went to work dying because I've never missed a meal in my life.
Yep. Absolutely, Matus. I appreciate you bringing this up. If you allow me to, I don't want to get too deep into your personal life. Don't say anything you don't want to say. But I appreciate you bringing this up because this intersection of politics with your father and Trump, I think really, and anger really highlights a couple of things here that I think is really interesting. That I think I think you as someone I know who's come to church and all that might find interesting as well. When you describe your father and you never missing a meal and everything you say, you remind me a lot about my mother. And she was a really decent woman, and she never really learned English either. But she worked hard, never missed a day at work, and I never missed a meal. I never wanted for anything, and she truly did the best she could. And Trump running has had this interesting effect on people. It's such an interesting effect, and I saw it up in Canada in 2016 when he started running. I saw people around me lose their minds, talk about a man they didn't know, in a way I never heard them speak, about things they never cared about. And the only thing I could conclude is that this is pure evil what's going on. This doesn't even make, this is the only, if you're a logical person, and I didn't even believe in God, if you're a logical person, something has taken away the reason of these people who were my friends just the other day. And anyway, so I realized evil was real. And so what I'm trying to highlight here is that as decent as my mother was and all that, and as decent as most people in our lives are, what constitutes as good and what that even means is something a lot of us don't quite understand. And I think we're starting to get closer to it when we examine ourselves and our own anger. Look at what happened when Trump ran. It was almost like a biblical thing. The wheat, what do they say in the Bible? The wheat and the chaff being split apart. Everybody had their titles and they were somewhat Democrat, somewhat blue, somewhat red. But when Trump ran, it divided. It was clear. You're either on this. This is almost bombastic to say, but either on the side of good or not. And your father, I'm sure, is a decent man and all that. And I don't even. I don't know the man. I'm not trying to say anything about it. I just like this call because it highlights what good even is, and a man who provided for you and who's a fine and I'm sure a decent man. It can even he could be brought to judging a man he doesn't know and saying that he's guilty of rape, a man he doesn't even know, by what's in his heart. And this is just very interesting. So I appreciate that, Matus. What do you think about that?
Hey, what I think about that is I'm going to quote Jesse on this. And it has to do with Grandpa, tell me about the good old days.
Yeah.
The more I hear that, the more I hear it, because that's the truth. That's the meat and the potatoes about that. Because ain't nobody alive today can tell you anything about good old days. They have no clue. Maybe you ask your grandpa, and man, it's sad, actually.
Well, don't be saddened. It really isn't.
No.
Don't be sad. I really wanted to make that comment that you shouldn't be saddened or
Nick,
heartbroken over your dad.
I just talk about sad, but once I say it, it's off.
I understand you.
Like I roll, man. I try to talk to people about Jesse. He's not for everybody, but I don't really care. If they don't want to listen, let suffer and die. That's what I say, like Jesse says.
Right on, man.
I love you guys. I'm gonna go. I'm getting
Same
off
here,
the freeway
Matus.
right
No
now.
problem. Call me again.
Bye.
Take care. Interesting. Don't hate your father because he's a Biden supporter. You can't change him. You're on the Trump train or you're walking. You're either on the train or you walking. I got Mark out of Los Angeles, California. Thank you for your call, sir. You're on the air.
And thanks for taking my call. I wanted to thank you for mentioning a person that I had never heard of until you mentioned him, I think about a week ago.
Yeah.
I think he's a fellow Canadian, Sean Strickland.
Yeah.
I love that guy. Oh, man, is he cool. I mean, he's a tough fighter. He tells it like it is. Former skinhead. I mean, he's, good all the way around. I can't find any fault in that man.
No fault at all?
Well, I don't know him that well. I'm sure we all have our faults, but from what I've heard and seen, very impressed. He mentioned his skinhead background. He dropped out.
Yeah.
He said he's no longer a racist, but, they've got to say certain things or he won't have a career. But whatever he is, I love him. He had an interview with the BBC, or what do they call it? The Canadian...
the CBC.
CBC. And he had some real creep of a reporter criticizing him for not supporting the homo community. And he just, wailed into that guy.
Oh, yeah. I played that clip.
Oh, did you? Okay. I've seen. Oh, man, great. That was so good. He is a Canadian, right?
No, Sean Strickland is not Canadian, but he is definitely he's standing up for the Canadians and their free speech. He was in Canada, and he was asked by a Canadian reporter about this comments he made about being a grandfather and being a father and having a gay son and that would cause him to reflect on on how he brought up his own son. So they wanted to gotcha him on that and ask him about that. It was like a nasty gotcha moment these reporters were trying to do. But he stood up for the Canadians on multiple occasions here because on their free speech and all that. And I personally do also like Sean for that. I think he's a straight up guy not
Do you know where
not
he's
beholden. But I believe he's from. Where's he from? Sean Strickland. He is from.
I assumed he was Canadian.
No, he is. As I'm looking it up here,
it's a German name.
But he's from California. He's a California man. Born Anaheim, California.
Okay, but he's good. I mean,
no, I do. I personally do like him for that because not a lot of people. A lot of people are beholden to others' words and all that, and I think he embodies this free man talking spirit in a way I like. You know, what do you think about? You know, you were talking about an interview. There was an older interview because you mentioned his skin had passed and all that,
right?
And he had, you know, Sean Strickland. He speaks about this and about growing up with a grandfather who was into all that, and that was the main influence. But then when he started fighting, he got into fighting. It almost like released this anger, and he dropped all that. He didn't see the need for that.
He's got to say that. He's got to say that. If he didn't say something like that, he'd be in jail or out of a job.
I personally think he's sincere when he was saying that. I don't think he's censoring himself. I think he clearly defends America and white people, whatever, when he has to. What I'm trying to say is I don't think he's censoring himself. I think he's sincere with that. In that he in his youth he sees that he was a certain way in his youth that he no longer is, in a way that he called hateful and
a repentant racist.
He said that about himself.
No, I'm saying it. That's what you would call a repentant.
No, and I wouldn't call him that either, though. That's something else. That's a person who's like, I'm sorry for being racist, and then they completely, they become total. Say again.
I mean, no.
But whatever. We were talking about what a man, what he may think or may not think. Who knows? But you were saying something else.
No, just that in the interview he said he dropped it, and I don't believe there's such a thing as a repentant. I'm not saying he said he was.
Gotcha.
But I don't believe that there is such a thing as a repentant racist. That's just something they say to keep their job. Maybe not in his case. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt because you're the one who talked about him in the first place that got me interested to know who he was. And I was very impressed. Whether he's a racist or not, I was very impressed with everything he said. I would vote for that man for president. I truly would. I would.
He mentioned something about running for office sometime.
Is he talking about that?
He said sometime maybe down the road he might, and he thinks he probably would lose, but he'd do it anyways just to...
No, you never know. I wanted to ask you, since you're from Canada, everything I have been hearing and everything I've seen, Toronto seems worse than any American city. I mean, they did a little bit. Well, that's what I saw on the internet. They did a little small documentary. They say the traffic is terrible, the crime is terrible, the drugs, rents and the cost of living are astronomical.
Yeah, that was before I left.
Were you in Toronto?
But drugs and crime, I don't know. I lived in Toronto for a number of years, in the GTA as well, the Greater Toronto area, and I grew up in Ontario for a number of years. Look, I wouldn't say growing up Toronto. Look, even going recently, I went back recently in 2020. Even Toronto's a really what do they call it? An alpha plus city. It's meaning one of the most populous and advanced cities, just like Paris, London, any other city, right? Like 4 million people. But it's also a young city. It's quite clean. It's a lot of people remark on how clean it is. Give it some time. It'll look like LA. Don't worry. But for that, the street cars they run on time, and they're, at least before I left, they run on time, and the buses, the transit, the subway system. There's some grime in the subways, like most, but hey, personally, I had a great experience. Crime and all that.
Okay, how's the traffic?
Where'd you get this report from? The traffic, as long as I remember, horrific. As long as I remember, the cost of living, horrible. Like really expensive. Right. As long as I remember, those things were true. But crime and drugs, maybe more lately. I bet you. I wouldn't be surprised, but yeah, more lately, I bet.
Is it infested with Muslims?
Yes, more lately, more than ever. The floodgates opened sometime during my youth in school, but even more recently, it's the gates are just off the hinges. It's incredible. some of the things I've seen. Going back recently, I almost didn't even recognize the town where my high school was.
Well, it looked pretty bad on this report. I've never been there, but everything they showed really looked bad. I'll make this quick and to the point. Did you see the video of the illegals beating up the cops in New York?
I did see that. That is incredible. I think they also flipped off the cameras. I think they were later seen flipping off cameras when they were walked, I think perp walked or something. Like they're in the custody of someone and they're walking down and the cameras caught them and they're flipping them off. Like they really don't care.
Well, they caught one of them. I mean, they caught, I think, 5 or 8 of them. 4 of them are already walking. And one of them is going to court. I saw him walking in court. I didn't see him flipping anybody off, but I assume that's probably what these evil people did. It's incredible. They could cross the border illegally, attack our police, and they're walking the same day. I mean, there's just something not right here.
So walking like on bail, like what's going on
No,
here?
no bail. It's no bail.
Wow.
They kept one of them.
I mean, on video, these are crimes on video.
I know. But that's just the way they have the law in New York. And the worthless, good-for-nothing mayor doesn't care. The governor's a piece of you-know-what.
So, piece of...
Right. And, well, I did hear her say she would like to see them deported. But that's all for politics. That's all for... One police officer that they interviewed said they'll never even try to catch the 4 that, got away or walked off. They walked out of the police station. I don't know what circumstance. They probably take their name and birth date, which is all probably a lie.
And they still call them migrants.
New Jersey. Yeah, well, I call them invaders, but whatever they are, they're probably in another state, and they'll never be brought to justice for what they did to those officers. And according to President Trump, I don't know if you read his Truth social messages. I read them every day faithfully. He said that in New York, these illegals are forming street gangs of their own, and they're defiant of the police. And of course, the news media isn't going to tell us this. They want to pretend like it's not happening. But everything, if you really want to see through the news, read Trump's tweets, or not tweets, but what they call truths every day.
Yes.
And they are so revealing. And it's really scary. I couldn't live in New York. Isn't Toronto near New York?
Yeah, it's not too far. They share. I just know that it's not terribly far.
I mean, can a working man survive there?
In
or
Toronto?
Do you got to be making? Yeah.
I just don't know anymore. I think sure. Yeah, I mean, I have friends that are doing it, but I'm not really up on that.
Well, I mean, you could put 3 guys in a 1-bedroom and survive, but I'm just wondering if is it $3,000 a month for a 1-bedroom? Like
I mean, I remember it being pretty expensive. It's like similar to LA prices, to be honest.
That's $3,000 for a decent neighborhood.
For a decent neighborhood, yeah, 15 plus for bachelor and an okay studio, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's pretty expensive.
Yeah.
Man, appreciate that, Mark. I mean, I appreciate the news and all that. Anything last thing you want to say before we move the wheels?
No, just I wanted to thank you again for the tip on Sean Strickland.
Yeah.
He's my hero.
No, I like Sean too, and I was giving him some crap the other day. I was playing a video where he was sounding a little emotional, but I really I feel the same way. I think even the Canadian, he's doing it. He understands the spirit of free speech. That's at least a decent man in my books, and he's doing it. Even he'll stand up for it, even for foreign people, Canadians, whatever. So I think it's fine.
Let me leave you with this. Tucker Carlson made a big hit in Canada last week.
Yeah, I saw that.
And one of the women that was elected official was put under the gun for that. They were grilling her. Why did you go there? He's a racist and all this crap.
For real?
Yeah, it was on internet. I forgot her name, but there was what do they call them? MPs?
Yeah, an MP, member of parliament.
Right, attended the stage with Tucker.
Really?
And she got grilled when she went back to work. What are you talking to him? He's a racist. But she defended herself real well. And Tucker was taken in real well. They say
Alberta Premier Danielle Smith. She's basically like the governor of a state. She's a premier of the province of Alberta.
Okay.
And so that's who that was, Danielle Smith.
Do you think Tucker would win to be prime minister up there if he ran?
Oh, man, I don't know. I don't know if a lot of people think about Tucker up there. He's definitely amongst the conservatives, big time. But, but he's not really a name that gets talked about up there.
Can you watch him up in Canada?
Yeah, on the internet. About Fox, you know what? I don't know. I forget.
Well, he ain't on there no more. But I mean,
not anymore. But
if he was on there, Canadians can see American TV, can't they?
They do. Yes, they can. Their news comes from the government, though.
Yeah, I know.
The CBC.
I know. Well, there's a lot of things we could talk about. I'll have to call you another time.
You'll have to call me again, Mark. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good day.
No problem. Call me again. Amazing. And all these calls coming in, you guys heard it's a chill show, and you guys just showing up, and I appreciate it. 888-775-3773. If you want to jump on the air, I'm about to get to more calls here. Mr. Pink with the super chat, with a coffee, actually, buymeacoffee.com/anchorbaby. Mr. Pig says, I still maintain my prediction that Trump is going to win and then pardon himself. It will be legendary. More innocent than OJ sending knife emojis to people. Also, have you guys picked up on Trump's buddy, Vince McMahon, dealing with the same mess? Oh, wait a second. I think I sort of do. Vince McMahon, I feel like I think I did comment on this a little bit. The sex trafficking mess allegations. I even mentioned this, I think, Mr. Pink. Either way, appreciate the super chat there. Thank you. Incredible. What else shall we do here? DUI, I mean, they're talking about illegals. You saw them flipping them off, right? I showed you the video. Well, apologies. You saw the video there while talking to Mark. Those illegals, those migrants flipping off the cameras. They don't care. But our own government doesn't care. You know, it's like, obviously. But I'm just reiterating what you know. I mean, what the heck is going on, says Elon Musk. It's a big old middle finger is what it is. It's a big old, they're flipping us off. These Democrats, 150 Democrats vote against a bill to deport illegals caught driving while drunk. You'd think that's not a controversial one. You would think that one's not controversial. Deporting migrants for driving under the influence. Yeah, it's just, here's another big old middle finger. It's a big old flip. They're flipping us off. These people in the Congress. So there's your flip off, huh? I got Frederick, Los Angeles on the air. Appreciate your call, sir.
What's going on, Nick? How's it going?
No, all is well, Frederick. Thank you.
Yep. I hear a lot of people saying that, their parents don't like Trump.
That what doesn't like Trump?
Their parents.
Their parents? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it's like a divide in the households nowadays because hard work outworks talent when talent doesn't work hard. Have you heard that saying?
I've heard that saying. What's the relation between the parents and the Trump thing?
Now, the parents work hard, and Trump is like the talented, rich kid that always has something. They was like, okay, he's popular, put him in there, let's see what he does. He does 4 years, get out, and he's not working hard. He's just talented as a charismatic person, and he's likable. Okay, but if you're not working hard for the people that's working hard for the country, like Sean Fain was on Neil Cavuto or whatever it was on Fox News. Did you watch that?
Sean what?
Sean Fain, the UAW president, he was on Neil Cavuto, Fox News, and he was running down everything, how Trump was against the people, telling people not to sell their houses when the car industry was going down.
And he's the what president? UAW, United Auto Workers?
Yeah.
It's a union.
He's backing Biden.
It's a union.
Workers.
It's a union, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And so the union and the president, they're backing Biden, and they're laying out how evil. No, this union is. You said the workers are.
Yeah, it always comes down to the manpower.
No, but
that work hard.
I'm following you so far, but you said the workers. It's not the workers. The union is supporting Biden.
The workers and the union. They just got the best contract they ever had, and Trump wouldn't stand with them. Biden went out to the picket lines and stood with the workers while they was on strike. And
so does a union like send in your votes as a worker or something?
Excuse me?
Does a union send in your votes as a worker in the union or something?
No.
You still vote as an individual. There's no entity in the world. There's no entity or process that exists in America like that, right? An individual votes for president. A union supporting a president, supporting a president monetarily is different than the workers of the union supporting the president.
Yes, the workers have the right to vote for who they want to work.
Okay, I was just trying to make that clear that a union supporting a president monetarily is different than the workers.
Right, but most of the workers.
I'm learning live with you. That's why I'm trying to make that clear. I'm learning this live with you. Yeah.
I'm just trying to make sure you ain't trying to spin it.
No. I'm learning live with you. I'm just making things clear for myself.
Say the union not okay.
Yeah. So the union is putting their money behind Biden, and so this president was on Neil Cavuto's show talking about Trump and how evil he is. Go.
Fact, and that's why the working parent and the working family members of the young that really never had it, that only get rich off of TikToks in this new age, I see the split. You know what I'm saying? So the split comes from reality of talking your way, talking a good game, and proving it and working hard. So
and these hard workers, the real workers, don't like the fakers like Trump and the gravy train riders like Trump and all that.
Yeah.
And so in your mind,
law and order president, if you're going to be a law and order president, you got to stand on what law and order is. You can't.
That's a fourth statement. Let's do. Go on. I'll let you say it.
All right. You can't claim just because someone's been convicted in your mind that conviction is not true, but you're about law and order.
What's that have to do with your previous thing? What's that have to do with what you were saying previously?
Because the whole order thing is what the people are looking at is for a leader. They need a leader, and if you're not working hard as a leader, your talk is going to go down the back like it's raining, but really they're going to figure out that.
Let me try to summarize this for myself and the viewers, and tell me where I got you wrong here. So what you're saying here, if I'm gathering here, if I'm picking up what you put down, what I gather here is what you're saying is taking in all these, taking in this information and these taking in everything you've said. You've concluded, you've put your finger on the pulse as to why there's this divide with Trump and why people are against him. And you've concluded the people that are against Trump, they're motivated mainly by this dislike and this distaste of people who don't work hard and work real. They don't like that he's riding this gravy train and that he's a rich boy, and that's what you concluded, that the overarching general whatever's against Trump, the motivating factor, wait, is that what you're saying? That the motivation behind this?
That's not what I'm saying.
Okay, so what are you saying?
If you're going to be a leader, have a program, have a policy, have something in place that you can promote besides repeal and replace everything the last president done. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to just come
in, that's what you think Trump is doing? That's what you think Trump is doing?
Yes, he come in and undo everything Obama done. Then he's going to come in and undo everything Joe Biden done. And in 4 years, he's going to say, I need 4 more years. Put me back. I'm like, with the gas cars, he's going to have to do everything. So I'm going to try.
This is, I'm doing my best here, folks, as I try and summarize this for all of you. Because you're all over the place a little bit. Have you noticed that, Frederick?
No, he's talented, but he has no leadership.
Let me try. Don't say any more. I only have a limited bandwidth in my brain. I'm holding on to everything you've. Hold on. I'm holding on to everything, all the random things you've said. I'm going to try and summarize it for my viewers here. Please don't say anything else. I have a limited space here.
Trump is talented.
So I'm going to try. I said you just said yes. You're not going to say anything else.
All right, go off of this.
No. I'm still trying to make sense of what you just said, which is nothing so far. But let's try and make sense of it. Hold on. No. You started off the call. You started off the call by making some sort of conclusion that the negativity against Trump has to do with him not being real and not being and him being like a trust fund baby, no real leadership. But okay, somehow we got past all that, and now what you're saying now is you have a charge against Trump and his presidency and his leadership. You're saying he has no plan, and people don't want someone with no plan and no leadership. So that's what you're saying now, right? Am I following so far? So let's throw away everything else you just said because it didn't make sense.
No,
so now we're on this.
Policy,
I'm just trying to follow here.
He don't debate.
And so now we're here. So now that we're here on this part of the conversation where you're saying you've now made a charge against Trump, you're saying he doesn't do anything. He has no leadership. He has no plan. And his only plan is to repeal the last guy's plan. So it's like, dude, how about you come up with something real and not just your whole thing is just I don't like the last guy.
With something real.
Is that what you're saying? No, wait. We're still trying to make sense of you. Hold on, Frederick. We're still trying to make sense of you. Is that correct? Is that what you're saying? That you're saying that Trump is just he doesn't have a plan and he's really his whole thing is just I don't like the last guy. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
That is a ridiculous statement.
No
that is such a ridiculous statement.
Agenda.
You really think that about Trump? That he's a no plan guy. He's a no plan guy. And his whole thing is just I don't like the last guy. I don't like the last guy. That's his whole thing. So what about bringing? So what about his whole?
He has no plan, Nick.
That is amazing.
What about?
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you one thing. One little thing. You said he has no plan, right? You said he has no plan, right? I'll say one sentence, one phrase for you that puts the whole story. It has a story. The whole story's there. The beginning, the middle, the end, the plan, the vision. It's all there. You ready? Make America great again. You got it. It's all there. You're saying he has no plan, but in fact, make America great again. The whole story's there. It's a very colorful story with a beginning, a middle, end. It's all there. It's all there. Bringing it back. That America's not great. America's in a bad position, but we're going to bring it back. That it's possible. It's all there.
If you and Trump can give us a year when America
it's just a ridiculous. I just can't.
If you and Trump can give us a year when America was great, we're listening.
Incredible, Frederick. Your statement about that, his whole thing.
What
it's just
year
a ridiculous.
Was America great? You're trying to make it great.
Can we move? How about we talk about something real? Do you have something else to say?
This is real. You want to make America great in one quote, but you can't name a year America was great.
It's almost ridiculous that we have to like. Your statement was he's just like the I don't like the last guy when he's clearly got like a whole story. It's a whole plan. It's a whole new revolution. It's a whole revolution, man. It's a whole goodbye to the gravy train. The whole plan's there. So if you want to just say nonsensical things, whatever. Now you're saying what? Yeah, what are you saying now? What are you saying now?
I think the majority is.
Go ahead. What are you saying now?
Just like when the majority keep their eyes on what the blacks doing, they have no vision. They can't see in front of them. It's just like Joel looking at the women racing right beside him. He's going to run into a brick wall. If you got your eyes on the prize, you're going to attract a whole following that you're going to be able to network to get to the prize quicker. If you really
what the heck does this have to do with anything that was just said?
If you don't have a prize or a goal,
you got to help us, Frederick. Who's the one with the prize here? What prize here? Help us out. What's the you got to do the WH5 like you did in school. Who, what, where, when, why? Help us out here. We have no idea what you're talking about.
Agenda. Listen, can I talk? The prize.
You said Joel running into a wall with a. You got to start from there and explain.
Is to get a woman, not to look at a woman, for the woman to follow you. You focusing on what she's doing is not going to make you a leader.
How am I focusing on a woman? What are you talking about?
You're looking at the blacks. You're looking at the women.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Gold.
Slow down. Slow down. How am I focusing on women, and how am I about to run into a wall like you're saying?
No, I said Joel was. If you're looking at
we'll
the
talk
women,
to him about that.
You're looking at the blacks.
I don't think he's not a focuser of women. You must have misunderstood him.
You say what?
He's not focused. He has his eyes on himself, not women. You must have misunderstood him.
No, if you're worried about how does he know what they're doing and what they want? If he's not
they're everywhere. You don't see what they're doing? What are you talking about?
But why are you focused on
I'm not necessarily sure what specifically you're referring to. I was preparing for my show, but I'm sure it was a fantastic show with Joel.
No, I'm not trying to switch you. You're doing the same thing by focusing on the blacks and everything.
When do I focus on the blacks?
Listen. Whites are in majority, and y'all have no goal but look behind you and talk about
When do I focus on the
females,
blacks?
The majority, the smaller people. Why don't y'all talk about what y'all want in the future?
You got the wrong show. I don't even do that. And whenever
even
I do
know,
talk about blacks, I
All
never,
y'all say
ever,
is,
ever talk about...
Our country's declining. Why don't y'all talk about what's going to
You
make it
can't
better?
name me one time I've talked about black people and I didn't make it about something, there's the spirit, the heart, and something beyond their skin
It
color.
ain't
You
a
can't
spirit.
you can't point to me one single time that I've talked about blacks
think all
and I
blacks-
didn't, and it wasn't about culture and heart and spirit and not about their skin color or something useless like that. There's not
So
a
you think
single
blacks
time.
all have the
There's
same
not a single
spirit?
time that you could point to.
Do you think blacks have the same spirit?
What?
Do
Do I think that blacks have the same spirit as who? Or as what?
as each other?
Most do.
No, that's a lie. See? Y'all overgeneralize.
Wait,
and
hold
think
up.
Most black
This
people.
is a ridiculous one,
'cause
Frederick.
You don't know
Let me-
most black
no.
people. How do you know most black people?
Like, no. Let me.
How do you know
I'm
most
about
black
to make it clear. You got to calm down, Frederick. Would you say most people in the world have the same spirit?
No.
Wait. Let's make this more basic.
No.
Let's make this
I don't know
Frederick.
most people in the world.
I already
man.
heard you say no, Frederick. Now allow me to ask. I was
But you
about to.
gotta understand
I already heard
why.
you
You
say no,
can't-
Frederick. I was about to
But
ask
you
you
can't-
something
you
else.
gotta
Calm
understand
down.
why I said no.
I'm about to ask you something else. I already heard you say no. Okay.
Do you understand
Let me ask
why?
you a more basic question. What possible out of the in the realm of possibilities? What spirits or what spirit can a person have? What's you see what I'm asking you here? Because you're
They can
saying
have anger,
you said
jealousy, envy, all of those different feelings are you call spirits.
Oh,
so
interesting.
spirits are feelings to you. Okay, so go ahead.
So to you, being envious and being jealous, those are
That's
all
a
different
spirit, yeah.
spirits. And so
Those
what,
are all- yeah,
so when
go ahead.
so I'm trying to understand you, Frederick. When I said that most blacks have the same spirit, you say no. Well, clearly they have different spirits. You're saying that some have envy, some have jealousy, some have greed. Is that what you're saying?
No.
So then, what are you saying? What in your eyes? What makes?
Listen.
Wait, let me ask you the question before you start talking. Let me ask you a question. Hold on, let me ask you a question before you start talking. So
No, you start talking after you answer the question.
because you want to
Go
talk about
ahead.
something else. We're still talking about the statement
we
you made.
are.
We're still talking about spirits and blacks having the same spirit or not. Let's stay on that. Just please
All right,
work with
let's
me.
go. What is a
Frederick, I'm
spirit?
begging you.
What is a spirit?
You said you disagreed with me when I'm saying that most blacks have the same spirit. And you're saying you're making it clear to us that you believe there are multiple spirits or whatever. So I'm trying to understand in your eyes what are the different spirits in blacks that makes it so that they are not all the same. I know I'm speaking clunkily. My apologies, but I'm trying to understand you, Frederick. You're saying blacks do not have the same spirit. So what spirits do they have that make them different? Go ahead.
Everybody has feelings. Spirits are something different than feelings, Nick. Spirit is your relationship with God and your spiritual look on life. Everybody don't have the same spiritual look on life. What somebody holds moral to them is not moral to the next person. What they're okay with doing, the next person might not be okay with doing. So when they die and feel at peace that they think they did right at something, somebody else might not die and feel like they did okay at that. So the spirit of within of morality is not the feelings of that we all have of feelings.
I'm
Now,
following.
you can say
So
all
to
black
make it
people
clear,
have the same
I'm following.
spirit.
Yeah, when you say all black people, I'm following. But I'm just still trying to understand how
when
you
say
see the
all
word.
black people have the same
We'll get to that.
spirit, that's
I'm
not
still
true,
trying to
'cause we're
understand how
not
you
even
see
all
the word.
same religion.
I don't want to spend
How
too
can
much
you
more
all
time
have the
here,
same
Frederick.
spirit if
I
you're
don't.
not
I
even
really
all the
don't want.
same
I
religion?
really got other callers here, man. If I can't ask you my question, I'll just move on. If I can't ask you my, if I can't ask you my question, I really just want to understand how you see spirit because this is quite interesting. Okay, so if I'm understanding you here, you're saying that having a spirit is a belief. What you believe is your spirit.
No, what you feel is your spirit.
Okay, so what you feel is your spirit.
Intuition. You know what intuition?
So what
your
does
will?
morality have to do with feelings?
Because whether you feel good or convicted about it, you're going to have feelings about it. That's your morality.
So your feelings
Yeah, you're going
is
to
your
feel conviction
how you
if
feel
do
about
something wrong.
how you feel about a morality is what makes it true to
It's
you.
going to make your conscience. Yeah, it's going to be how you feel. Yeah,
Is what makes how you feel about a morality is what makes it true to you, and that's your spirit. And we all have different spirits. That is a strange definition of spirit I've never heard, and I don't quite understand. I find it quite strange. I use just the word belief. I just use the word belief for that. And everybody has their own beliefs, and beliefs. The source of belief is thoughts and insanity. So I don't really put too much stock and importance into people's opinions and beliefs. I really wouldn't call that a spirit. I found it interesting you were describing anger and greed and all these different things as spirits as well. I see those all as one spirit, all as one singular same spirit, and I kind of believe the Bible and Jesus. You're either controlled by good or evil. But I was just trying to understand how you see the word spirit, man. And I wasn't trying to make it all emotional. I was really just trying to understand your definition of that word.
I wanted to say we all have feelings, but it's not the same spirit that you're trying to put in. Like the anger, y'all claim the mama spirit is anger. That's not even a spirit, it's a feeling. So
all right.
Y'all try to be like, oh, it's all the same. No, it's not.
Anyways, Frederick, I was just trying to understand what you were saying by the word spirit, and I appreciate your call.
All right, Nick, you have a good one.
Yeah, you too.
All right.
I shouldn't try and make sense. I was trying to summarize the confusing conversation for my viewers, but maybe it's just like we waste too much time doing that. Maybe I don't need to do that. Maybe I don't really need to do that. Because it felt like we were trying real hard just to get the definition of spirit, and then egos get involved. It's like, oh, you're talking over me, and I don't know who's right, who's wrong now, who talked over who, and I just wanted to understand because it sounded like he didn't like me saying that all blacks have the same spirit. You're either mad or you're not. You're either evil or you're not. Your belief and feelings and morality is what makes you unique in spirit. I don't know what that means. No way. I know who you are, sir. I met you in Florida. Oh, really? Right on, man. It's nice to see you again. The security guard. I mean, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. It's the security guard himself. It's an inside joke, Jesse. Oh. Folks, if you don't know what's going on right now, I'm talking to a surprise guest who's coming to the studio. I mean, I don't see why not. Please take a seat, sir. I mean, right there. Why not sit? Why not? How do we do this? Let's see if we can show him on camera here. Let's see if we can do this, folks. Get on the mic and put on the headphones. Yeah. Let's see. Boom. Okay, that's not it. Okay, I'm working out the system here. Is it this one? No, it's not that one. Is it this one? I think it's this one. Now I got to take myself off. Folks, I have a surprise guest here. I got the Snake Pit security guard.
Mildly attractive.
Mildly attractive Snake Pit security guard. I didn't think I'd meet him today. Yeah. I met him in Florida years ago at one of the men's conferences. It's nice to see you, man. How you doing?
Hey.
It's nice to see you, man.
Good to see you too, man.
Shake your hand here. You're on my show. He's on the air right now.
I'm on there.
He's live right now with the folks.
Yeah, this is my first time being in the studio, man. Wow.
Totally impromptu.
Totally impromptu.
I've seen you over the years in the chat for sure.
Yeah, you always know me in the chat.
It's nice to see you, man. I met you in Florida. We were in Orlando for the men's conference.
Yeah.
How you been since then?
Hey, just trucking, man, and watching y'all show.
And
watching church and. You know, I'm a fan, man. I'm a
fan,
fan.
For sure.
Diehard fan.
Yeah.
Man, so.
You're always on that. We always catch you with the biblical question answers.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Coming in strong.
Yeah. I live by them things, man.
Why? What's got you out here?
Just on a hiatus from trucking.
Right on.
And, you know, just there's nowhere else to vacation at. You know, I got to come see the boys. You know.
Right on. How long are you here?
I'm men's conference tonight, or men's forum, and in church.
Let's go. Man, don't miss it. Men's forum today at the Bond headquarters. You don't want to miss it if you're in the area. 7 p.m. Pacific time.
Yeah.
We'll be there. I'll be there.
Yeah, and then church. I'm gonna stay for church.
Right on. We'll see you at church too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just. Today was a chill show for me, anyways. What was I even just doing?
I was just watching you talk about Mike Tyson.
I seen you in the chat. I see you in the chat.
I was in the chat waiting. I
literally saw you in the. So what was I even just? I was just rambling about something. I just had a call. That's what just happened.
Okay, sorry.
I literally just had a call, and we had a nice call there with Frederick.
Oh, Frederick from LA.
Yeah, Frederick from LA.
Frederica. Shout out Frederica.
Yeah. So that's what just happened, and it's been a chill show. And then you came in, and we just say hi and all that. I'm about to take a flat Earth call. I think you want to stick around for that.
Sure, I love that.
I got Thomas out of Michigan. How you doing, sir?
Right.
Thomas, Michigan.
Hey, Nick, how's it going?
All is well, Thomas. Appreciate your call.
Hey, man, I think I know that guy.
Yeah. You recognize him?
I met the guy before.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What's up, Thomas?
Very cool.
What's up, Josh? How's it going?
Going well, man.
Remember me? I met you at L.A. with James.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't remember
that.
you. Wait, Thomas.
It's a long, long time ago.
Imagine that.
Okay.
It's a reunion.
Yep.
It's a reunion.
It's a triple reunion.
Mm-hmm.
That's super
Yep,
cool.
it's so nice. But I heard a call. I forgot the guy's name, and he was talking about his father being a watching CNN and being a Biden believer or whatever.
Yep.
My God, I just want to say that this man has a lot of love for his father.
That was Matus earlier.
Matus, yes, that's the guy. Yeah, I can tell that he loves his father very much, and I am the same way. My father and I do not share the same belief in terms of politics, but he never stopped to take care of us, no matter what, no matter how hard life is. And I'm so thankful that there are such good men out there. My father, my grandfather, and Matu's father, and I believe a lot of fathers are the same way.
Right, just doing their best.
Yep, they're doing their best. It is just, the world is so unforgiving, but no matter what, I've never seen my dad in a bad light. You know what? I was wrong. I did see my father in a bad light, but after forgiving him, and after knowing that he did his best, I couldn't be happier to have him as my father, and I couldn't be happier to be his son.
Right on, Thomas. Yeah, most fathers, I bet it's like that.
Yep. And
Yeah,
I
even if you have a difference in opinion, huh?
Yep. Yep. Very true. And I want to make a suggestion.
Go ahead, please.
Yep. Let it be Fatherhood Friday. For your
Instead of Open Line Friday. Oh, for my show. Fatherhood Fridays?
Yep.
I'll take that into consideration.
Yep.
I don't think I have a single day like where I have like a thing.
Yeah.
I just have like Flight Fridays, I guess.
Yeah. That's
Oh yeah, Friday. That's pretty good.
Father Flight Fridays. No, anyways. I appreciate that, Thomas. Fine suggestion.
Yep. Yes, sir. Hey, nice talking to you.
No problem, Thomas.
Much to say today. I just got done working on a car. I'm pretty tired, but...
Well, call me again,
happy.
Thomas. No problem. Maybe we can hash out Flat Earth.
Yes, sir. No. I wasn't gonna talk about Flat Earth.
Oh, my bad. They have you written down as something here.
Gotcha.
Okay,
But-
no problem, Thomas.
Okay. Yep. Maybe one last thing. As an engineer, I actually tried doing the calculation, and to be absolutely honest, it's inconclusive. Both.
Oh,
models Yep, it's inconclusive. At least from my calculation.
Very
I
interesting.
tried to do it myself.
Maybe we could
so-
talk about it someday.
Yep.
All right,
right,
Thomas.
sounds
Appreciate
good.
it. Call me again.
See ya. See you, Josh.
All right. See you, Thomas.
Nice.
Great call, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for chilling. I mean, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what kind of time you have. You're welcome to go. You're welcome to stay. I was wrapping up. We got like what? Barely just a few minutes here for the show. We got Brian out of Tennessee, though. He wants to comment on Frederick's call. We were just we just got into it a little bit with Frederick.
I love Frederick.
Yeah,
Go
me too.
Yeah.
Wait, sorry. Do I have you on the air? I got you, Brian, Tennessee.
Oh, yes. Hello. Hey, what's going on? From one anchor baby to another, I just want to say I love what you're doing, man.
Nice.
Thank
you, sir.
So I was listening to the Joel Friday show today, or Joel Friday TV thing today,
Nice.
and I kept hearing this topic coming up of why are you so focused on women and this and that, and I think people just got real kind of caught up in that, And somebody just called a few minutes ago saying basically the same thing. And I think they completely missed the point of what he was saying. I think from what I understood from that whole conversation was that it's just like whenever you start to kind of figure out what's going on inside yourself, you know, you kind of start to see and start to understand where women are coming from. I think that's kind of the message he was putting out.
Yeah, I heard some of that. Where I really got to catch the second half there since I was getting ready for mine. Joel Friday TV, he was live earlier today, but I did hear a little bit. I heard there was some maybe disagreement or something that it centered around this here, right? Was it around understanding women? Could you maybe help us out here? What was the disagreement?
Yeah, I think from what I remember, it was like because I think the big thing they got caught up on was how to deal with women, right? You shouldn't have to deal with them and this and that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the way that Joel was putting it was we have to deal with people like in a practical sense, right? With talking and relationships and like things like that. And to be able to deal with them, you kind of have to be able to understand them. But I think it's the same thing as like the same hell that I have in myself, they have going on in themselves, right? And I think that's kind of what he was getting at, but I kind of feel like people are getting lost in like the details. And I think it's maybe because it's like from male to female relationship, like it kind of looks like it can kind of look weird, I guess.
I think people may trip about the language Joel uses sometimes, but I definitely got to check it out myself. I appreciate that, Brian. Everybody who hasn't watched Joel's episode there should check it out. From what you're saying, though, I mean, when you understand yourself, you understand the world. I mean, and that understanding tells you it dictates your behavior. That understanding tells you when to speak, when not to speak, when to deal, when not to deal. You know,
exactly. I mean, I feel like what Joel was saying is exactly what like I find myself doing in my own relationships, right? Like I can see, you know, when and how to deal with things, right? And not always, of course, but at times, you know.
Right on, Brian. Yeah, I'll have to go back and check out what the disagreement was.
All right. Well, thank you, Nick. I appreciate it.
No, appreciate you. Call me again, Brian.
All right.
We're really wrapping up there, folks. Man, it's nice to see you, bro.
Man,
right on.
I'm a fanboy, bro. I'm like starstruck right now. I'm starstruck.
Last time you saw me, I wasn't doing anything like this.
Really?
Well, yeah, I had no show. I had no... It's just amazing how time...
where's the swoopy blouse?
I still have it. I still have it.
That was the first show.
I still have it.
That was the first
the sparkle blouse.
The sparkle blouse.
Dude, I swear I did not. Yo, Joel wore a sparkle. I don't look. Maybe I'm salty here. I wasn't gonna do this.
Okay.
But Joel wore a sparkle blouse the other day,
Really?
and nobody said anything.
Yeah, let me tell you what it was. You were doing so good guest hosting when Jesse was out. You were just you were too perfect.
No.
That's what. So we had to find something to mess with you with.
I swear, I went a whole 3-hour show. Nobody heard a single thing I said. They were just talking about my sparkly blouse. That was a great episode, man. It's a pleasure seeing you.
Yeah, man.
And I'll see you Thursday. I'm going to say bye to the folks here. I'm going to switch my little camera here. Say bye to the Snake Pit security guard.
Yes, sir.
And we do appreciate his work there in the Snake Pit. Folks, what can I say? That's it from me. That's American Anchor, baby. I do appreciate you being with me today. Join me tomorrow for the flight. Don't miss it. That's Friday. We're doing the flight. So hit the notification bell so you don't miss it. We're taking off around 4 p.m. Around 4 p.m. That's good enough. And so don't miss it. Appreciate it. As always, folks, we did the super chats. We did the calls. Join me tomorrow, like I said, one final time, 4 p.m. And I'll say bye. See you, folks. Take care.